My name is William Stevens, originally from Milne Bay. I grew up in Port Moresby, and I've been in Port Moresby during my young days. As a child, I grew up here. Then went off to do some schooling, both back in Milne Bay, Alatau, and then to Goroka, and then everything started taking place from then on.
Okay. Could you take us back to 1973 when you were first approached to design Papua New Guinea's currency? How did that opportunity come about?
Interesting one, yes. Well, it started. I was a student then back at the art school in Goroka.
Which school in Goroka?
The Goroka Technical School is the art school. We had two art schools, one down at University of PNG, the Creative Arts faculty, and then the other one was up in Goroka Tech, School of Art and Design. So I attended that one. In my first year, I was supposed to do a three-year certificate course of doing fine arts. But in my first year, as a design group, we all gathered in the classroom, and then we had visitors from Australia, a group of designers that have always been working on the Australian notes and stamps out of Reserve Bank of Australia. And these guys were always doing other notes as well. So anyhow, a team of them, I think at that time there was a decision to have our own currency because of the independence days were looming and all that. So we had to have our own flag and our own currency, our own national anthem. So this team came up while we were in class. They stormed in and interrupted the class for a while, and then news got around that these guys were looking for material that they could use when they went back to their studios back in Australia to work with the notes. So they asked, in any case, if any of you had some ideas, would you be able to give us some concepts or some visuals, or how would you like to see your own currency? So we all got stuck into this. Probably about 15 of us in the class, including me. So we all did little concepts and visuals, and I ended up producing a full set of $1. I call them New Guinea dollar at that time, NGD. So $1 up to $100. So I sorted them out. Actually, uniformed them in colors, and provided a full set. So when the team returned in the afternoon, because they had other places to go to, so they did. But well, in Goroka anyway, they came back again in the afternoon, and sure enough, there was a set. So there were some examples they could pick up, which one of them was my designs as well. So as soon as they saw that something new was there, and obviously what I provided them was what they would have visualized, what they wanted to see. So they were happy with it, and there was quiet talk and negotiations with our head of school then. Said, oh, someone here knows something about this. So that was probably like a foot in the doorway situation for me, design-wise.
So what happened from there?
Well, then it was back to normal school throughout. It was probably, they popped around at about June, July-ish. So it was like mid-year when they popped in. So nothing of it. The head of school kept quiet about it. Everyone kept quiet about it. It was like the storm had come and gone. So towards November, September, October, November-ish, the head of school started inviting me to his house, to his family, to have dinners, and said how to eat with a knife and fork, and cups of tea, ice cream and stuff like that after dinner. And then, he was just schooling me. Mm, I knew nothing about what was. I thought he was just happy with me. So, anyway, that went through right till about November-ish, and then they asked me. The family even asked me, said, "I think we'll have to organize your passport and travel documents." I said, "What for?" I said, "Oh, you're coming for a holiday with us." So all I knew was I was going down for a holidays in Australia, and been 15, 16, at that time, 15, let's say. I I was excited about it. I said, okay, I'm having a holiday. And word got around this schoolmates that, oh, this fellow's going to Australia and he's going to have a good time and all that. I ended up letting my parents know. My parents were in Mosby then. Said, oh, sorry, I won't be coming home for Christmas. I'll be going straight down to Australia. Said, oh, that's okay, good, fun. So I worked hard towards it, actually. Going back to what was happening at school. The school was, in a way, since it was an art school, we did paintings and sculpture and photography, the whole ball and dice. And when tourists would come to the gallery for sale, they'd send me. Everybody in the class would say, Stephen, you go and take the tourists around, and they'll probably buy something, your artwork or something. Because anyway, it always ended up that most of my paintings were, getting bought by. So it looked that way anyway. So, but the situation was, you get half of what you sell, and the school gets half of it. So at times I had so much money in my pocket it wasn't funny. I'd be like the kingpin for the boys, yeah. So yeah, and it was dollars at that time. Yes, it was. Yes.
This was 1973.
Around about so. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, tell me then. Tell me about the trip to Goroka, to Australia.
Okay. Then it was Christmas time, so it was actually the head of school's name was Noel Chalice. So he took his family and went off because they'd already arranged my passports and travel dates and all that. And it was like left to me. He said, "Oh, you'll find your own way down. Come to Mosby for a while and then go through." So they headed off before me. While they were in Australia, and then December, I came through Port Moresby, jumped on another airplane here. First time on an airplane, and raw as raw can be, green around the ears. Jumped on an airplane, and then off I went. I had clothing that was like one shirt, two shirts, and a pair of slacks, and what shoes I could find, I found, and packed the suitcase together and hurried off. So that's probably where it started. So first stop was in Brisbane, mind you, and looking down at the windows, looking at all these white men, pushing trolleys around and driving tractors and stuff. I said, my goodness, where are all the black men? Here I am, so trying to sort this thing out, battling the whole situation. I just couldn't figure it out, what was going on. Then got off in Brisbane, then switched on to another airplane. Same thing, couldn't get used to the fact that all these white men were doing what black men back in Papua New Guinea were doing, So anyways, went through Sydney, then to Melbourne, and then friend Noel Charles picked me up. So the trip again was a first time for everything, throughout. I didn't know what I was going. All I knew was I was going down for a holiday, and that was it. I said I'm going to really have a good time. And that's it. Especially like I said much earlier on, I was just 14, 10, 15. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So I arrived in Melbourne, and the Charleses picked me up, went straight to their family home, and the whole throughout the festive season, visited restaurants, we visited museums, went to sporting activities, went to the farms, and it was a normal family holiday. So I enjoyed that. Went through meeting people and having to understand what the Australians lifestyle was like, and you know, taking puns and taking jokes and returning jokes and the whole thing. So then the time came when said, "Oh, we might as well visit the bank." So they took me down to the Reserve Bank of Australia, the note issue department, where all the money gets printed. So we walked in there. Everyone was still working anyway. I mean, they worked through Christmas and whatever. So met the governor of the bank there, the governor of the note issue department, and conversations went so and so. So at the end of the conversation, end of it all, they walked me to an office, and all these white guys, the artist engravers, were there's about 5 of them. So meet your workmates. So, hello, meet all your workmates. So I shook hands and everything, and then I still it didn't dawn on me. And then they said, "Well, your desk's over there. These are all your pens, and this is all where you get your paper." And they started getting me into this. I was just starting to get puzzled. What's going on here? And I asked me notes. No, don't say a word. Wait till this thing is through. Wait till the tour is through, and I'll let you know. My goodness. Anyway, so we went through the whole thing. You start work so and so this time. Dates were given. We'll organize accommodation for you. So, my goodness. Okay. So we went back over a cup of coffee, and I'm asking Noel Charles, "What's going on? You guys going to leave me here to work?" Or what? He said, "Oh, didn't you know that you'll be here to work on the Papua New Guinea money? You're going to be designing the money." Hello? So remember the time when you were designing, providing concepts and visuals for the artists and engravers for here? Well, they selected your artwork. So you will actually end up providing the finished art for you. My goodness. So I was prepared for this, but well, you're here, you start work at this date. So that's how it started. I was like abandoned in a way, but in a nice way. So the challenges returned. They returned back to Papua New Guinea. And I got pushed into a hotel, and the next day having to wear a tie and train how to wear a tie with long sleeve shirts tucked in, and then since it was like walking distance, but I still had to catch a bus up to the note issue department from the hotel. With an allowance of can you remember, it was $120 at the time they gave me. So yes, a week. So like 60 or $70 was for accommodation and that, and the rest was dinner, lunch, and transport, and a couple of well, I started getting used to having a few beers on the side. So well, that's one of the things you catch up with. But to me that was like the world to me. Not carefree. Nothing was going to come in between. You're here to do this, have a good time. Well, while it lasted. So that's how it went through.
So what? You continue with the story. What happened with the work?
So I started work. Since I was given the desk what to do. I was given directions, instructions, what they wanted from me, because most of the work was mechanical, and all these guys needed original artwork, pencil stuff. So you start off with pencils and graduate into a photo transfer, down to a geometrical lathe transfer. So it was the thing you had to. So I did the original artwork with pencils. I penciled all the plumages and all the shells and all the Kina shells, all the ports and the background. It was, you start off with a sheet about a meter by 60 centimeters, a whole big board that you see, then you just doodle away and work and work. Then you knock it down to start working with a foot by 6 inches, small blocks. So it took, originally I was supposed to do it in 3 months. So it was okay for me. I was going to be here for 3 months and then get back to Papua New Guinea. But then it started stalling, work started getting bigger. We have to fine tune this, fine tune that. We need proper, artwork for this. So then it went 6 months. Then it went 12 months. Then it went 15 months. Then it ended up 2 years. Because I had to do the two Kina, 5 Kina, 10 Kina, and then the 20 Kina in parts. So it was like working on this note while the artist engravers were gouging out the plates. I was also providing more work, and it was just a rotation that I had to keep it going. And then, mind you, occasionally would go down and visit the print shop where the machines were running and you'd walk under all this money rolling all around you, all over the place, noise, and the smell, the ink itself was enough to make you feel like a rich man. You didn't want to have anything to do with money. Money was nothing to you because of the smell alone. Just sniffing once you walk into the printery. I tell you, kidding. Oh, just you knew you had money on you all the time because of the smell, and the security itself, Every corridor you walk to 10, there was a guard there with a pump action shotgun standing there. It's like no question asked. The only question they ask is how much money you got in your wallet. They check, before you go out for lunch, they check your wallets. How much money you go out with lunch, how much change you come back with. It's so strict. Even down to even burning the old used cancelled notes, money. They burn them in a particular furnace, and it's so security conscious. There's a peephole window for the security guard to be watching those flames, the gas burning this, and they know they don't throw the ash away down the main sink. It goes into a different the ash, because it's counterfeiting and all this. So security was so tight, it wasn't funny. But that was like, my normal day at work would be just about getting there, provide all the pencil artwork, going through, making them stick up fine artwork anyway. So basically I spent a lot of time doing pencil drawings, specific thing they would ask for. How does this shell look like in its actual form? Then I'd draw the shell throughout. And how does this pot looks like, for instance? And so I was enjoying everything because it was like that was meant for me. But mind you, throughout the period, the white guys would be, my colleagues would be telling me, what's going to end up when you get back to Papua New Guinea? The country's going to roll a red carpet for you. And I thought, red carpet? I think, you know how much work you're doing for a country right now. And I said, well, a 15, 16-year-old at the time, said, yeah, maybe, yeah, but, still. Then that's it. You are something, you still don't, you haven't realized what you really getting yourself into here. But we can assure you that when you get back, your country is going to be so happy with you. They'll roll the red carpet for you. All the razzmatazz and stuff will be for you. But then again, the whole time down there, I only had one visitor almost once a month, and that was late Sir Henry Thoreau. That's just the sight of him was, like home to me. And he'd come in and said, "Oh, big bro," sort of. And he was youngish anyway. Probably he was in his 40s or 30s, I think he was, and he was still a young fellow, and to me he was like, thank God someone from my country is here, and he's my boss, and and we discuss a lot of things, but every time he visits, I'm always happy, and he take me out for lunch, and but it was like. Um, I expect his visits every month, and they're always good.
So, what was your reaction to being tasked with designing the national currency? Did you feel any pressure or excitement at that time?
Well, like I said, when when I was introduced to this workplace, especially and then been shown the workstation, where to work, and to me it was going to be like it was going to be for since it was going to be for 3 months. I thought, oh, okay, good, but then like, it sort of I grew into it sort of, and like I said, not seeing I wasn't seeing that far, like 3 years or 4 or 5 years ahead. I was thinking of then and then. I said, well, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna go back home. I'm I'm just a normal person, like just I don't know what it was, but then the feeling at that time was, I'm here to do this job, so I'm just gonna do it. It's part of um, if I were to say it, I mean, would you get a man to do would you get a boy to do a man's job situation? And it was clearly, I'll do it. Hand me that broom, I'll sweep the floor, sort of thing. In along those lines, sort of thing.
Can you explain how cultural symbolism and traditional motifs they influence the designs of the Tukina? Is it Tukina?
Two, yeah,
Kina?
2, 5, 10, and the 20, yeah, and the
10.
20, yeah, 10,
I think
yeah,
the 10,
10
20 Kina
at that
came
time,
later.
yeah,
I think it was only the 10 Kina that it was introduced first in
yeah,
1975. Yes. So
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think I was in a way like I was already tied into culture itself well before. I think even when I was 10, maybe 12 years old, I had this thing about culture, I, something about something old, and to me, so when my creative juices start to flow, I was already into, you know, anything I believed in the red, black, and white colors, and the ochres of the earth, and the reds from leaves, and so my association to creativity in the in the basic cultural feel to what Papua New Guinea is, the customs, and that it was natural. I see Hagen X, I know it's from Hagen, and I know what its use was.
So you go into each of the designs, starting with the Tukina.
Oh yeah.
You start with the Tukina first,
Yeah.
come up to 5, and then come up to 10.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, the Tukina will have the clay pot from the Papuan, or maybe the northern and Midang, those areas that do clay pots. The clay pot is significant in that area there. Then you got the dog's tooth, again. Most uh, cultural groups wear the dog's tooth on then you have the Hagen X, which is also up from the highlands, uh, mainly the Hagen in that area. Um, that's the three main features on the Tukina, and the background again is again it's a tint with using all aspects of um, montage of all artwork put together. Yeah.
Did you collaborate with anyone during the design process, or was it largely your individual work?
Well, funny enough, you should say that, because I mean, I never looked over my shoulder to who was there, to come up with, because, like I said earlier, I mean, everything came to me. I could smell what I was working on. I knew what bright price meant, and what the mocha was all about, what the hiri trade was all about. Likewise, the kula, and what the shells, the bagi, mwali, solava, in the Tami Island people, how they do the sipik, how they cover. It was just natural to me. Why do they blow the conch shell for whatever reasons? And drums don't get beaten for nothing. So you kill lizards for a reason for your. So I say it was like tapestry, so to speak. I mean, how culture really grabbed me when I needed it most. I mean, I said, here I'm going to deal with something, an icon that's supposed to represent a whole range of Papua. What is the vein that all these things are going to go into? And that was it. So the flow was just, but I had to discuss how these guys were going to duplicate the artwork I produced, and so I want it looking like this. It has to be like this. It has to be, I mean, the stuffed bed of paradise. It has to lie down like this. The plumage has got to be, and there's two, the Ragiana and the lesser bed of paradise. You can distinguish, one's a darker one and one's the lighter one, and you'd be able to how you portray them. Less engraving on them. So I communicated well with them, through their technology, which is using the engravers and the lathe machines, whilst I'm providing the original artwork.
So how did you feel when the currency was officially launched on April 19th, 1975, which will be next month will be 50 years?
That's how old Toya is now. I mean, we can because I can remember at the launch date. Here we are down at the PNG Bank PNG building and launching it, and we're all standing around, and then late sedulation ceremony was giving his speech and all that, and there's a phone call comes through from Pom Jen that his wife had given birth to a boy. He said, excuse me, I'll have to break this conversation here for a while. Let me get on the phone. And they told him that his wife had given birth to us. I said, oh, good news. My wife's just given birth to a child. I'm going to call him Toya. So Toya Chen was actually born on launch date. So anything that goes with Toya Chen is the lifeline of but launch date, yes, everyone was there, and here I am dressed in my, if I can remember, one of those African butterfly shirts or whatever it was. If I can, I wish I could have some photos showing how I look like standing in the group at launch date down there, and I still didn't feel the heartbeat that was supposed to be there, but I knew I did something, so that's why I was there at launch date, and then afterwards everything went on and on, but throughout the day I was,
So where was the launching then?
The launching was at Bank of PNG, now the United States building opposite the old. Oh, no, opposite, but next to the old PNGBC.
Okay, so before the launching, and when did you finish the project, and when did you come back to Papua New Guinea?
I was end of 74. Then I had to go back again for a quick 3 months to do the 20 Kina. 20 Kina had to be done before the 19th. So It was like I went down again in January, February, March. I had to be within 3 months. Because before I left, I had enough material left over to do that. Funny thing about the 20 supposed to have been $25, 25 kina. But to lose at that time, can you imagine losing 25 kina, at one go? Just thought processes. So, likewise, but while the notes were done in Melbourne, the coins were done in Canberra Mint. The 1 kina, we had to put a hole in the middle so that the village people could hang them around the neck here. So it's something you can carry around. But that was, so I had to go back and do the 20, and the 20 kina was eventually brought down to 20 kina.
The 20 kina was released at the same time, was it?
No,
I thought
it was after
Because
20. Yeah.
I was there in 75, I can remember.
Yeah.
The 10 kina came first.
That's right. 2, 5, 10.
The 10 kina was
Yeah. The highest denomination then.
amount at the time.
Yeah.
And the 20 kina came back a couple of years later.
Yeah, during 25, just 1995, 95, 96, yeah, a year, almost a year after, yeah, because Setori Local was the Governor General then, and he wanted his head to be placed on the 20 kina, and he said nothing's going to happen if you don't put my head on it. And he was religiously, he adamant that it must be. And then we had to go around. I mean, the artist engravers asked me, "How are you going to go? That's your Governor General speaking. You heard him." I said, "Of course." And so Henry Torobert came down. We spoke about it. So, well, okay, because he's still living. The man is still living. You can't feature him on a currency. Or what happens if he gets involved in some corruption or something goes wrong? We're really going to deface the country. Currency. You're going to deface the country. So, okay, well, why don't we put the pig's head in? Say, wow, that's a good idea. Of course, pig is almost nationwide. Pig holds the highest value of anything you want to put. So, okay, we dumped the pig in, and boy, did the colors almost come off the 20 kina when say Loco saw what happened to it.
Okay, so the 20 kina you designed later?
Yeah, much later. Yeah.
Okay, looking back, do you believe your designs have stood the test of time? And how do you feel seeing them in circulation today?
Some things grow on you, so to speak. Then through time, the government, the bank has added security features, and then from the old paper notes to now polymer, and the usage of wear and tear, and basically adding features to make it security to hold its own. But I feel like I keep saying my hands don't lie. I did something, and I'm happy that I did that. But I'd be lying if I say I'm not expecting anyone to pat me on the shoulder and say, "Well done, son," sort of thing. But how do you get someone to pat you on the shoulder and say, "Well done"? That's been coming for almost 50 years now. So I think I'll have to end up, consoling myself and saying, "But don't hold your breath." That's sometimes, but. The fact is, the money's been used, and it's a legal tender throughout. And throughout the ages, people have come and gone. People have died over it. People have stolen it, and people have done all sorts of things to them. But it has, come through time. So with the time.
Just as a matter of interest, how much did they pay you for your designs?
Well, I'm a testament. You see me sitting in front of you. Right? uh, if everything went the way you're asking me, I mean, how the background of your question, I shouldn't be sitting here. You know, maybe I'd be somewhere else. Maybe um, kingpin of some sort. But again, from experience, with the Australian notes, Gordon Andrews, who designed the Australian money. He's well off. He's been paid, and he's on a good remuneration, and he did a job, and he got remunerated for it. So that has been a question on my mind, and I'm sure a lot of my friends and my people who sympathize with the fact that they see me hanging around the way I do, ask me that question. But the only answer to that is about zilch, except for the rental and the pay I was getting to actually work on the notes. And that's $100 a week. Apart from that, nothing.
So after you returned from Australia, what happened to you?
Okay.
Go back to school? Or did you work,
I did.
What happened to you over the last 50 years since?
Yes. Okay. Good question. Well, I turned 16. Well, last time I can remember drinking out of a yard glass, and a beer full in a yard glass, and drinking, and celebrating my 16th birthday in Australia with my friends. Came back here, went straight to Goroka. Went back to the school and started teaching back again, teaching. And then ended up getting a diploma up at in education up at University of Goroka. Then taught for a while at the art school, and then went
Art
through.
school in Mosby?
No, up in Goroka. So yeah, at the art school again. Then worked with some companies up in Goroka as well. Robert Sucklin, my good old mate, he gave me a job working with him to run his the Highlands News, if you can remember.
Yes.
Yes, I helped him out.
I remember I grew up in Goroka at that time.
Yeah, also. I worked with Robert doing that, and then taught for a while again back at the art school, and did all sorts of things in Goroka. I mean, I spent about 12 years in Goroka, from schooling to working, sports, and understanding the culture of the Apos up there. And it was just going through life, as it came, happy-go-lucky, so to speak. But good old days, when the air was much fresher. I mean, I can go back to Goroka and you can't do that now to breathe the same air, Unfortunately, you can't.
I know the feeling.
Precious, yes, beautiful. Yeah.
Anyway, so just a bit of your reflections on 50 years of independence. You were part of a monumental moment in Papua New Guinea's history. How do you feel about the progress the country has made over the last 50 years?
Yes. Well, it's like tomorrow is predictable. Yesterday you can forget, Yesterday will never be the same, I'm saying you can't. So I'm not one of those guys who wake up like every morning and you feel the same, You wake up every morning feeling the same. It won't get you anywhere. But the fact is, for the last 50 years through independence, waking up to Papua New Guinea has gone from both sides blown out and all of its top and bottom blown out, and it's still been and unfortunately people take advantage of that, and they do all sorts of things they want about this country, and then we keep saying it's a peaceful country, and it's a rich country, it's a happy country, but what have we got to show? Except since you asking me as a question, I should be asking everybody else. I mean, you ask someone down the street, and they'll probably say nothing. They'll probably say nothing. But the fact is, they know they did something. But whatever that is, if it's appreciated, and and given a tip, then it's worth it. But you keep waking up to the same morning, every day, same thing, and you don't realize nothing has changed. But if you wake up and see something, different, of course, something has changed. But for the last 50 years in Papua New Guinea, I think you can see probably the change in attitudes of people, how they come to live with you, or how they move away from you. They come and stay with you, and they either pretend to be your good friends and they help you along, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. Either they die or they go, and then you question, what did I learn from that little extract, But so I say, every individual needs to ask themselves that question. Come 50th anniversary, when the question is asked, what have you as an individual done for this country? I wonder how many hands are going to go up and say, yes, I did this. Maybe we should wait for that.
How has your work as the designer of the country's currency influenced your own sense of national pride and identity?
I've actually learned all this time to stay as humble as I can, and I think being humble has taught me that yes, you can go and have dinners, you can have drinks, and you can attend big meetings with the prime ministers and everything, and you can be up there. Really, you can be right up there. But there'll come a time when you sit in your little corner in your room, and ponder on what did I do? Okay, I did that, but where has it taken me? Where has it got me to? Those sort of things. But and here you are. You can get up there and make big decisions. I've worked in advertising agencies, and I've solved marketing problems through my creative ability to do design ads, advertisements, and create advertising to sell someone a product. So that's my best when I get to be able to sell something someone.
What are your hopes for Papua New Guinea as it looks forward to the next 50 years?
Well, as for me, I've gone past 50 years of my lifetime, and what advice I can give is probably up to that 50 years. But like I said earlier, tomorrow is predictable. I can see as far as I can see, but I will need all my experiences to tell the next guy next to me, don't do that, but do this. So my advice would be, I'm happy with what I've seen so far to get me to where I am, and that's probably through my own strength and through my ability. But there are questionable motives from others that I'm not too sure of. But others, I'd say, walk that straight line, and walk that straight line. Don't. I mean, this is one thing I'd like to also probably maybe say here. 2 things you need to do, or 3 things you need to do. Walk a straight line, go there, and walk a straight line back. And if you walk in that straight line, and if you see something that's not yours, don't pick it up. And the third one, I'd say, is to respect respect the women folk, woman. I don't care how bad she treats you, how wherever she is from, woman must be respected in every way, because the woman's the one who's gonna feed you, woman's the one who's gonna be by your bedside if you're sick and all that, and the woman is the mother of your children, and she's the one who's gonna nest them through. So the woman is soft enough. You follow your father will teach you how to fight, he'll teach you how to steal, he'll teach you how to drink, he'll teach you how to spoil things. That's your father's way. So if you're going to respect a woman, it's got to be your mother. So those three things I'd like to push.
If you were asked to redesign the currency today, would you change anything? If so, what and why?
by I could, but my first hurdle right now would be, design-wise and in the strength of that, I say I had to go over these two notes, the 50 Kina and the 100 Kina. I'd want to get rid of them first, because to start with, the 50 Kina, there's really no resemblance whatsoever. To actually to design, because when I did the 2, 5, and 10, well, I had no choice, but the choice was to as a subject was to include all our currency value items that way. So I did that, but we really missed out on a whole lot of history of Papua New Guinea, and the currency was just about the right place to do it. If we could feature all our explorers, all our leaders that came through, all our when we were how we were evangelized, all the missionaries that came through here, all our explorers that walked up and down the Owen Stanley Ranges. I spoke earlier about getting people like Father Ross, and all the businessmen that came through here, the gold rush in Maclay Bell in Medang, but how are we going to, the best possible way to portray all this history was on a currency, on a banknote, that would have been really something. That's with the 50 Kina, and I mean no bad blood about putting St. Michael Somare's face when he was alive on the 50 Kina note. It could have gone nasty had he gone corrupt or something during his time as a prime minister. Can you imagine what would have happened? Can you imagine what would have happened? But then the 100 Kina, you got the oil tankers, the dump trucks, and the string of fish. I mean, it doesn't point. To me, the 100 Kina looks like a prospectus, cover of a prospectus magazine. Simple as that. So on the design and the possibility and the potential of portraying our history on our currency, we missed out on that much, on those two notes. So, and then if you see the 100 Kina and the 50 Kina note now, there's no uniformity with the earlier notes.
Thank you. Finally, what legacy do you hope your contribution to the nation will leave for future generations?
Well, prosperity is one thing. The Kina value gaining whatever it can. But probably as my contribution in trying to leave a legacy behind is, as long as I get talked about, probably in schools, and I'll be part of an education process, and probably as history that someone, a Papua New Guinean, at this age and at this time, when the time was needed for this to happen, somebody stood up and gave something to it, and so I bet you, even if you go around now to schools or even to villages, and then ask them, you know how our money came about, or how this currency came about, and what is it all about? Nothing would be said about it except, oh, I'm spending it, because I sell this, I get this much, money, and the conversation over. As a matter of fact, it can be actually extended to everything that moves this country. Kina, banknote is one of them, and the other thing would be the national anthem. I mean, how much acknowledgement, or how much do people know about who actually composed the song, and what it took for the song to come up as it was, and the flag. I mean, how did it come about? And these things should be talked about and placed in events, event management. People should know about it. Even our national parliament, the architect who did it, I'm sure he should get a mention, somewhere. He should be in the books somewhere. People I know, I mean, I work with Hal Holman. He used to work with, you probably know him.
He's a very famous name.
That's right, Hal Holman. He, maybe when we went to school, you remember having those school papers that come and would listen to the school broadcast on radio. And well, Hal Holman was running the Office of Information at the time, and there was a few people working with him. And Hal Holman designed the national crest, the Bird of Paradise, the way it is, the stylized bird, and even, I don't know who, the Air New Guinea symbol itself. I mean, it's a lot of things that if someone can really sit down and say, yes, tick the boxes, and maybe that might bring some console to some of us, that without having to beat each other on the breast and say, I did. I'm not one that's going to go around beating breasts, but I've done what I could. Now I can probably sit back and, like you say, if it's legacy, then my legacy will be just the way it is, if we keep on thinking the way it is. And probably my children, oh, I only got 2 boys, but my grandchildren and all, they'll probably be the ones saying, oh, my grandfather was this and that. Said, yeah. But then, some lucky ones I shook hands with, some lucky ones I took pictures of with. So I remember this old man, But there'll be just that, or maybe probably a word in passing, but the legacy must be there. Okay, good. Well, the two Kina, the features here of the Hagen X, the stone and hand woven Hagen X, and the clay pot, general pot from the New Guinea mainland, and the pig's tooth from Manus, Popondetta, Murrumbay, Central Province. Most provinces have the dog's tooth. Then you have the Toya shell, which is also from Central, and again most provinces still want the Tukina. That's the Tukina, and it used to have the national crest, but they've changed it to put in the National Parliament House. Again, there's a lot of security features that have come in, with the watermark there, and then the watermark there. Then we used to have the metal thread running through, remember? We used to have them. Now that's gone, so they've put a transparent. And with the 5 again, transferred, moved out the crest, and put the Then you have the Kina shell, mainly it was actually taken out from the Mocha festival, and then the famous Sipik mask. Good old Gideon Kenduno really loves this. And again, the Moali and the Solava, the Trobrin, and then the shell beads again. But there's that. The Tenkina having the plumage, the bird of paradise, the Tummy Island bowl, the pig's bow tusk, and then the tambu shell.
Okay, anything else you want to say?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Probably I'll introduce my missus
Yes,
for
okay.
how long have you been married? for almost 40 almost 40 years. My miss and we've been through like all other marriages, good, bad, and ugly, but we've come through time, and she's always been next to me, beside me. So likewise me with her. So maybe this is an opportunity to say hello to everyone. Yeah. You say hello. Yeah. Well, all the money as well.